Fantastic work from Gagan Reddy so far. I told you he was on good form. Oh, Mayank Tripathi dropped some watt bombs there, upwards of 10 watts per kilo.
But Joel is a man on a mission today. He's not going to let Mayank go that easy.
Some technical difficulty, maybe power cut or what. Transformers are falling. So these guys, if they work together, they can definitely catch him before the finish line. So A. Naik has effectively ridden a time trial this race. With 600 meters to go, it's a game of cat and mouse here.
And it's Joel. Hello guys, and welcome back to the second edition of TMC on RGT. We are here on World Environment Day, and it's time for the most awaited race of the day. It's going to be the Cat A race, which is going to be a hot fucking race. It's more than 4 watts per kilo. That's the category. We've got the best racers in the country getting together and racing today. And I have a friend, Phil, who's going to be joining us for commentary.
Well, thank you very much, Shaurya. It's definitely going to be a cracker of a race here. We've in fact got Michael Joseph, who just finished the previous race, enter for this one too. So it's going to be fun. We've also got some big hitters here from the Indian esports racing team, Mr. Mayank Tripathi. We also have some other big guys. We've got Mr. GT Gagan Reddy. He's actually an ex-national champion and he's in scintillating form. His legs are fantastic. And Shaurya, what do you think we can expect from Gagan today?
Gagan's been, I've been looking at his training recently, and I think he's soon going to be the next national champ, like all categories, not just under 23.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say everyone needs to watch out for this man today because, he's on some good form. So you wouldn't want to let him go too early. Not at all. Because once he goes, he can keep that gap and he can time trial to the finish. So everyone, if you're watching this, stay on GT Gagan Reddy's wheel.
Definitely. Other than him, I think Imad Seth, who's another guy who's been training with Naveen John, he's also been doing really well. We've seen him win a lot of races recently. He's another guy to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, Imad Seth is another up-and-coming talent. He's also got a YouTube channel which you guys can head over and subscribe to. He's going to be recording this race. So if you like watching people suffer, you can tune in and watch him race.
Definitely. All being said, I think my heart today is with Joel Sundaram, who's our fellow TMC co-organizer. If you guys like the content and the videos that we've been sharing on Instagram, a big shout out to Joel. He's been sitting and editing all day, and it's really fun to have him on the team.
All right, guys, we're shortly gonna kick off this race. It's gonna be interesting to see how hard it is off the line. I'm gonna say watch out for Gagan Reddy. What about you, Shaurya?
Well, yeah, I think Imad Seth, Mayank Tripathi, Gagan, and Joel. My heart's with Joel though today.
And we're off. And it looks like, who's that right at the front? Mr. Mayank Tripathi's taken off. But Gagan and Joel are in hot pursuit. Gagan's catching up and he's gone right past, counter-attacking him at 450 watts. Man, this pace is hard. Group looks to be together now. Everyone giving it their full beans.
Oh, the entire screen has turned red. All I can see is reds. And this is just the beginning of a 19-kilometer race.
Absolutely. I'm sure we can expect some counterattacks to be coming any time now. At the moment, we've got a group of 5.
And here goes Gagan.
And Gagan off the front. Fantastic work from Gagan Reddy so far. I told you he was on good form. He's dropping the hammer. His GT Gagan Reddy. He's just got 5 or 6 meters of a gap between him and Mayank Tripathi. As the group closes up, and an attack from Joel Sundaram. It looks like Gagan's not letting anyone go today. He wants to be at the front. He wants to put the hurt on absolutely everyone in this race. And that's exactly what he's doing at the front. He's making this extremely hard for all his compatriots. What do you think, Shaurya?
Definitely, it's almost like the moment people catch him back, he attacks again, and I'm really curious to see who A Bell is. A Bell seems to not be on the registration list. I'm kind of wondering uh, who's entered the race.
And Gagan ready again at the front. Fantastic. This is definitely going to be an exciting contest.
For sure. I think it's only 1.4 kilometers into the race right now. And look at that pace. Even in the corners, it's close to 40, 41, 42 kmph.
Gagan sitting pretty at the front here. He's just in the red from the start. This man is on some seriously good form here. Look at those watts per kilo. 5.9, 5.7. This is phenomenal.
Oh, I'm pretty sure like everybody else is having a hard time than just trying to catch up to the guy.
Imad's taken off on an attack there. It looks like Gagan's just slowing down a little bit now to try and recover after the effort he put in there. Oh, but no, he's closing up. He's closing up. Is GT Gagan ready?
Phil,
Or is he?
think we should have put in the category as greater than 5 watts per kilo. Look at the kind of power these guys are putting in. I mean, this is just amazing.
Absolutely. It looks like the work Gagan Reddy did at the start has really thinned the group down to only about 4 riders at the front, with the 5th A Bell trying to catch up. But I don't think these guys are going to settle because Joel and Mayank are on the front and they're drilling.
Definitely, I think Abel's had it for the day. It's like he's 20 meters behind. And looking at the speed of this group, I think once you get dropped, this group is not going to let you get back on.
Yeah, absolutely, once you get dropped, you're gone. Forget about coming back. That's not going to happen. It's very surprising looking at Gagan here because he has been on good form in the past couple of weeks. His numbers have been sky high. Absolutely phenomenal. Definitely on course to dominate the national championships this year. But I'm pretty sure it was a technical difficulty which he's facing. Yeah, it must be a technical issue because he's out of the race now.
Oh, I think he's definitely racing from Bangalore. I feel like there's been a power cut.
And not only here, the UK as well, mate. There's something going on with the power world over.
Well, the rains have been pretty crazy, so I'm not surprised there's been a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
Looks like we have a group of 4 favorites now. Such a bummer. I was actually looking forward to Anirudh Ravichandran racing. He's part of the start list.
Oh, Mayank Tripathi dropped some watt bombs there, upwards of 10 watts per kilo, and he's off the front. He's got about 10 meters on Joel Sundaram, but he's closing up quick. Could this Shaurya become a 2-man race to the finish?
I think that's the strategy that Mayank has been using. He's got, I'm not sure if Nayak is part of his team, but he definitely likes to drop people early and then settles down on the pace. But Joel is a man on a mission today. He's not going to let Mayank go that easy.
Joel definitely on some great legs today then, because he's covered all the attacks, especially the fiery start from Gagan Reddy. And he's now sitting on Mayank Tripathi's wheel, trying to recover a little bit. We've got 14.8 kilometers to go now. And I think if these 2 riders work together, the group isn't going to see them again.
Yeah, definitely. I think from here on, it's just they still need to work together. They need to put in some distance into Nayak and Imad Seth. Imad Seth is known for like good time trialing legs, so he can always catch up. But it's really important that Joel and Mayank work together to make sure the gap stays.
Yeah, if anything, that gap is only growing now up to around 47, 48 meters. It's going upwards of 50 meters. I think if they can get 150, 200, there's no coming back for the group, no matter how well they work. These are 2 extremely strong riders. So it's going to be fun watching them duke it out all the way to the finish line. And it looks like Joel is going to attack Mayank, or was that just to close up to the wheel?
It was just a close up. You see, every time we close in on the 3, 4, 5% gradient, it's Mayank Tripathi putting in 500 plus watts, trying to make the most of the gradient that he's gotten here.
I do think Joel Sundaram is on good form today, and I fully expect him to match every effort that Mayank makes and stay with him all the way to the line. What about you, Shaurya?
Well, it's too early to say though. It's 4.75 kilometers in. We still have 13 kilometers to go. I think once the pace settles down, it's going to be a really interesting dynamic to see how Joel and Mayank decide to work together, because they're definitely rivals right now.
For sure, but I think they need to place emphasis on those first two spots of the podium, because if they don't work together, they might just be swallowed up by the group behind.
Well, definitely. Well, Imatse, it's coming back. I mean, if you he's closing in the distance to A Nayak. I mean, you can if you look at Imatse, it's he's been putting consistent power. I think if he's listening to the stream, a good way to face this effort is going to be a slight attack on the uphills. The moment the slope increases, that'd be a
Absolutely,
nice time.
with physics as well, that's the best way to pace any effort, isn't it? Putting the power down on the slowest sections of the course, because that's where you get the most bang for your buck.
Definitely.
Looks like there's about 25 meters between A Naik and Imad Sait. What do you think? Do you think Imad's going to close that gap and these guys can work together to
that'd
keep
be really
Abel at bay?
see. Yeah, I think that'd be really. I think there's no coming back for Abel. He's already in the red. If you can see in the left corner. And I'm not even sure who Abel is. Looks like it's some glitch rider who's just entered the race, not registered for the race. But that being said, I think right. Sorry.
Speaking of random people, we've got one here. His name is Loganathan, and he's back. He's a big fan of Gagan, so let's hear what he has to say. Good morning, Gagan, my good friend. Now, I'm very sad to see he's had issue with some technical difficulty, maybe power cut or what. Now rain in Bangalore, so Bescom also not great. So transformers are falling, things are happening, technical difficulties are happening. But I think if Gagan was there in the race, he would be right there with his front group. So especially that start was super fast, and I think that thinned the group a lot. But these riders are doing fantastic. Mayank Tripathi and Joel Sundaram, great work. You're working well together and increasing the gap slowly but surely. It's looking like Joel is attacking Mayank.
Well, he's definitely got the strategy, and he's attacking on all the elevations. He's not letting Mayank rest for even a bit.
Yeah, I think right now we've got a message from one of our sponsors, so over to that. It looks like there are some technical issues, so while we wait for that to be sorted out, back to the race. Mike and Joel seem to be working really, really well together, don't you think, Shaurya? It looks like there are... That little clip was a throwback to the first monthly crit event, which happened at Miko Kartopia, which was a runaway success. It was a great event, fantastic atmosphere, and quality riders. And we can't wait for things to go back to normal again.
Definitely, Phil. I think everybody wants to get back onto real roads racing. They've been waiting, and I think we're going to be on soon. We're just waiting for things to settle down. Because
and back to the front of the race, sorry to interrupt you, but Mayank has launched a searing attack, and it looks like he's got about 10 meters on Joel, but no, Joel's closed up. These two are going blow for blow. And Mayank goes again. Big watts from the ISRT rider as Joel Sundaram tries to close the gap. And Joel is coming back slowly but surely. Both these riders deep into the red. This is some good entertainment here.
Joel looks like he's a man on a mission today. He's definitely going to be irritating Mayank because Mayank's putting in 500, 600 plus watts every time.
And he's just not making any inroads. That just shows how strong Joel is today. The Bangalore boy has certainly made huge improvements over the past year with his training and racing. And now he's competing with some of the best riders India has to offer.
Well, I'd definitely say it's the Ooty air that's making him...
Yeah, the altitude dearly helps. And once again, Mayank attacks, but Joel closes him down immediately. Both of these riders need to try and recover now. And work together if they can. Well, how do you think this race is going to play out, Shaurya?
I think it's close to halfway done now, and this is the important point time because I think the pace by both the guys in the front is going to slow down now. That's my prediction. I think in the back we can see Nayak and Bell and Imad Said getting together and trying to bridge the gap. Nayak is doing a solo effort though, so I feel like the pace is going to slow down now. If we go to the front, we can see that slowly. Because of the anaerobic power, the W prime is going to be chipping off soon, and I don't think these guys are going to be attacking that much.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like they've depended on their anaerobic battery quite a bit, and now that should be slightly depleted. These guys are going to have to work together and try and conserve as much energy as possible if they want to stay away, because there is the concerted chase behind from Imad Said, A. Bell, and A. Nayak, who's hanging out in no man's land.
Definitely, and like I said, it's only halfway through. I think Imad Said and A. Bell can still work together. It's only 200 meters to A. Nayak, and we've seen like working together help. Oh, Mayank goes again. He's not giving a single moment to Joel to rest.
And Joel straight on him again. This is amazing to watch, mate. Two class athletes going at each other with no holds barred. There's nothing between them, just a couple of meters, but Joel always closes him down, and Mayank likewise.
And as you can see, it's the moment the slope turns negative, these guys almost stop putting power at all. It's only the positive gradients where they're pushing hard.
Yeah, for sure. And could it be that Mayank launches another attack immediately after the previous one? No, it looks like they've settled down.
Well, you can never say. They've been surprising me throughout now. I've been wanting for the pace to settle down so that, there's just too much action happening in the front. I want to go back and look at other riders at this time.
With Imad Said and A. Bell, I think they started off slightly conservatively, trying to save a little bit of energy, and it'll be really interesting if they can claw their way back to this front group. That final is going to be interesting because they've got 9 kilometers to go now. So quite a bit of time to get back.
Definitely. If not the first and second position, I think they can still try working for the third position. And
especially because A. Nayak is out in no man's land and he doesn't have the benefit of drafting anybody. So these guys, if they work together, they can definitely catch him before the finish line. But of course, it all depends on how they're feeling in that current moment and whether they can put in that effort to close the gap.
I think what Imad and Abel are not doing is drafting each other. They should be drafting. They're riding side by side.
Right, so they need to play that smarter. Which is what they're doing now.
I guess if they're hearing this, they need to work together, take longer pulls, and just make sure the other guy is recovering and not attack each other. That's the worst thing to do right now.
Yes, for sure. I think that gap's holding steady to A9 at around 210 meters. And Abel is attacking Imad Sate, is it?
Oh, that is a bad move to make, especially when you're so far behind. You have 102 200 meters to the third position. It's a bad
Absolutely,
move, bad strategy though.
that's not a smart thing to do. Unless he thinks he's on really good form today and he can catch up to A9 and fight for that third spot on the podium. Because you never know what that rider's feeling.
True. I think only time can tell that though. We've got like 7 kilometers to go. I guess it's close to 10 minutes of racing left.
Yeah, now is when that effort is going to really start to sting. And looking at the front, there's still nothing between those two riders, Mayank and Joel. Seems that they're just taking it a little easy at the moment, trying to recharge those batteries to go for the finish.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you look at, I think we're looking at Mayank's data. Is it Mayank's?
Yes, that's Mayank's data.
You can see his heart rate, it's fallen down to 157. And the power's also just close to early 200s.
I think they've got 700 meters on A9, so they can afford to take it a little bit easy, but not to be too complacent. Because if they take it too easy, then you never know, he could come back. But I'm sure these guys won't let that happen. They've worked hard to get out here in front, and I don't think they're going to let that go that easy.
Definitely. I mean, Nayag's like close to half a lap behind them, and there's no coming back for him. It's just going to be between these two guys, and let's see how they're going to plan this now.
It looks like Abel is closing on A9, and he has left Imad Sate behind as the field comes up to lap Imad. Joel in front, Mike right behind him, nothing between these two guys.
Well, you say there's nothing between these two guys, but they've been throwing attacks all day. They're not letting each other go at all. It's almost like they're head-to-head, racing together, and looking at each other's face to see the point when the other person breaks.
Absolutely. Do you think it's going to come down to a sprint between these two? Or do you think one of them is going to carry on?
Well, Joel's heart rate is at 180. His cadence is slightly lower than what I'd expect him to see. But if we can go to Mayank and see how he's doing right now, especially effort-wise, you can see his effort. He's kind of recovered, which is he's at 156 BPM.
But then, if you also think about it, there is a significant age difference between these two riders, which will affect that heart rate and exactly where that fits within their zones.
But, right. Okay, let me ask you here. What do you think Mayank's age is? Take a guess.
I'm not sure. I think
take a guess.
He's about mid to late 30s. Well, what is his age? How old is this rider?
Well, you have me scrolling on the page right now. I'm looking for his name. I asked you a question, but
and an attack from Joel Sundaram, is it? No. Nothing in it there. So they've got about 715 meters to A9. He's about 140 meters ahead of Abel. So I do think Abel has the potential to close that gap between Naig and himself and duke it out for that third spot on the podium.
Right. He just could be proving me wrong when I pointed out that it's a bad strategy to not work with Imad, because he's definitely closing it down. It's good time that Naig tries to rework his strategy, because he's been out in the open for a longer time than Abel.
Right, true. So when they do come together, Abel is going to be much fresher than Mr. Naig. So it looks like today wasn't the best day for Imad, because he has solid potential, and this race doesn't do justice to what he has. He He's an up and coming kid and definitely one of the people to watch out for in Indian cycling.
Definitely. I mean, also, I think um, he is a shorter guy. So on real roads, if he's in your draft, he's just simply doing zone 2, zone 3, and the drag on him is really low. So I think those things haven't worked too well for him in the virtual world right now.
Yeah, that does make a big difference. Joel Sundaram having the fastest sprint at the moment. Just
And you
about
can see
40
Joel's
milliseconds
recovered.
ahead of Imad.
Joel has kind of recovered heart rate wise. That's a good sign
Heart
though.
rate
With five,
dropped
with 3,
about
4
10
kilometers
beats.
to go. Definitely.
Got 3.8 kilometers to go at the moment. So I do sense some attacks going to come sometime soon. And we said it, Mayank Tripathi is off with Joel Sundaram in hot pursuit. These riders just aren't letting the other one go away now, are they?
Definitely. I think I'm kind of like very surprised with looking at Mayank's heart rate, the kind of power he's putting down, and the
And a
response.
counter-attack from Joel Sundaram. Is he going to get a gap? Is he going to get a gap? He's got about 10 to 15 meters at the moment. But is that gap going to grow?
I feel like it's way too early. He should just like he should wait. Probably he should wait. He's got 20 meters, which is increasing. But come on, Joel. I think it's time that you.
He
pull your
definitely
team
knows
together.
what sort of legs he has
Definitely.
today. And he's emptying the tank. 3 kilometers to go with 20 meters of a gap between him and Mayank Tripathi. Oh, fantastic work. Fantastic indeed.
Wow, I'm just amazed. I'm just Joel's been working his ass off with the TMC events, and for a performance like this, it's just wonderful.
But
It's wonderful.
Mayank has come back to him now. Mayank has come back. So I think Joel was just testing him to see if he could break away and go solo for the win. But it looks like Mayank's just not going to let that happen. And I sense another attack coming real soon. What do you think, Shaurya?
With 2.5 kilometers to go, I think they're going to still wait for any attack right now. Might just end up hurting you too much. Can we go? If we go back to Mayank again, let's see how he's doing right now. Right, so it looks like he did put a good amount of effort in catching back to Joel. Look at his heart rate; it's gone back to 170s.
That definitely wasn't a joke. Still in the high 200s, keeping up with each other. And if we go back to A. Naig and A. Bell, it doesn't look as though A. Bell is going to come back to A. Naig because that gap is holding steady. So A. Naig has effectively ridden a time trial this race.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. That's what we saw in the women's category too. With lesser number of participants, it almost gets to a time trial for a lot of riders.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure how this works, but in RGT, do you have the options to customize your kit to make yourself more?
Well, that's something even I'm not sure of. But I'm not. I don't think you can get. It's not. I don't think it's like the Zwift where you can buy speed. It's definitely more equalizing than Zwift. I think Phil's having a little bit of trouble with network. It's just bad UK weather, I think. Back to the front, we have, let's look at, it's with only 1.5 kilometers to go. I think it's time to focus on Joel and Mayank. These guys have been at it throughout. I mean, it's been such an inspiration to see them race today and race so hard. For all our viewers, we'd like you to know that Bira, LBB, and Happy Healthy Me have been our sponsors throughout. And if you guys are watching this, you should definitely check out their products. It's definitely something to look forward to. And I think we have Phil back. Phil, what happened to your network?
It's just the network in the UK right now is horrible, mate. Where I'm staying in the woods,
Yes.
it's not bad. I mean, it's not good at all, sorry. It's just the frustration from having these constant power cuts and network outages. It's not fun. But we're just under the Flamme Rouge now with 980 meters to go. And these two are right there with each other. What do you think? Quick prediction.
I think Mayank has more experience in the front. I think Joel's got age and youth and energy in him. Let's see if that works well for him. But
I
Mayank
think Joel has that.
it's definitely a battle between experience and just.
And it looks
age.
like Joel tried to fake an attack there. Trying to call Mayank out, catching him by surprise. But Mayank is going, or is he, with 600 meters to go? It's a game of cat and mouse here. They're trying to see who's going to blink first.
Definitely, you can see
500 meters to go now. Both of these guys right up there. 420 meters. Still no one launches. 350 meters now. It still is a little too early to launch your sprint.
it's
So
going to
I'm
be around
expecting
now.
them-
Around now, I think that's now is the time when people are going to go, and I think Mayank's going to go first.
And if Joel can sit on and burst past him at the line, that would be amazing. Then 170 meters to go, so now is the time to turn on the afterburners, and Mayank Tripathi does just that. Gavin
And it's
Jolson's
Joel,
run up,
and it's
isn't he?
Joel. Joel takes the win.
What a ride from this Bangalore boy. Fantastic work from Joel Sundaram to take the win. Monthly Crit organizer and winner in the
Wow.
elite category.
Wow. Ben, can we have you on right now?
That was absolutely mental. Freaking hell. So good, so good. Like, he just came out of nowhere, right? Literally.
That honestly was one of the closest virtual races I have ever watched.
That was brilliant. Absolutely. So good, man. Joel, so proud of you, man.
And if we can go back to third place now, A Naik is going to finish real soon in about 600 meters time to round out the third spot on the podium. Joel Sundaram, Mayank Tripathi, and soon to finish A Naik. That's your podium, ladies and gentlemen. What a phenomenal race. What do you think, Shaurya? Absolutely phenomenal, isn't it?
Wow, I'm just amazed. I'm really happy for the winners. I think Joel, when he started e-racing, he knew he could do better. He just needed some time, and he'd been practicing on a couple of platforms, and I think he's gotten the idea correct, which is beautiful. Beautiful to see him race today, and both of these guys, like, kudos to Mayank also. This time, Mayank came out alone from ISRT. I think his a couple of buddies. We definitely missed them, having them on the platform, and
Yeah, the last race was fun.
yeah, definitely. I mean, this race would have been definitely fun if there were a couple of teams working out in the front.
I think Joel surprised Mayank there. So now he's going to be on everyone's radar, this young man.
Joel, man, super good. So impressed.
And I have to say,
It's
with
almost-
Imad, Saith and Gagan Reddy today definitely didn't reflect what they're capable of. These two lads have great potential, so keep your eyes on them for the next events, because I'm sure they're going to be back with a bang.
Tough luck.
I mean, you do have on and off days in racing, isn't it?
Is that your neighbor's dog, Phil Carbon?
I think it's Phil's dog.
Yeah.
Or is that a cat?
Oh, it's a dog, sorry. We do live in the woods, so a hunting dog here.
Is his name Carbon?
Yeah, absolutely. Named after bicycle frames.
It's Carbon attesting to it.
Wow.
But superb stuff. I think Imad's finishing his race now. He's 300 meters to go. So good to see him finish the race, nonetheless. If I was him, I'd have called it quits and say, tata bye-bye, let's go home.
That shows real character, being able to finish a race despite not getting the best result you'd have hoped for.
Absolutely.
Oh, guys, I think we have some information here. So A Bell is actually Anirudh Ravichandran. That's the guy we were missing. And now I think
wonder.
all questions are being answered as to who this guy is, how he was about to like um, kind of make
No
sense
wonder.
now.
All doubts are cleared.
Well,
were
if you're listening to
expecting-
this,
We were expecting a lot from him.
Solid race.
definitely
Solid
a
race.
strong rider. But like I said, he had text me some 4 days back saying he just got his vaccine shot, and good to see him recover and come back for racing.
I think he just needed a little more time.
And talking about vaccine shot, PSA message. If you're listening and you haven't got a vaccine shot, go get your vaccine shot.
Definitely. I mean, this is the perfect time to get it done after you've raced. And now there's 1 month before you can get on to the next race and probably get a vaccine shot now and get 2 weeks of training. And we've got like some really exciting news for our next event, which is going to be on Independence Day.
Not
Who's
our
Independence
not
Day?
our Independence Day.
Well, that's also another date we should book though.
Yeah, for sure.
But before that, it's going to be on 4th of July, the American Independence Day. And we've got some huge news coming in.
But we won't disclose everything now. I think what we'll disclose is that it's not going to be a virtual race. It's going to be out.
Boom!
It's going to be outdoor. And I think what we
And
can
it's going to
also
be
tell you,
safe.
it's going to be safe. I think what we can also tell you is that there's no crits involved. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a crit race, but it's not going to be a time trial either. So if you think it's going to be a time trial, sorry boys and girls, not a time trial.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Independence Day, the monthly crit is coming up with something fantastic. Stay tuned for more.
It's pretty interesting to see the chats, and somebody's put in the chat and Twitch saying my heart rate matched Joel's sprint effort by just sitting at home.
Such a close race, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
honestly, I thought Mayank's got it in the bag. He was like what, 50 meters from the finish, and then comes Joel from nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like the person who put this is Joel's girlfriend.
And if we can have the winner, Joel Sundaram, come online now, that would be phenomenal. Joel, how was the race? Congratulations.
Oh, that was hectic, man. Mayank really pushed me with all those surges. It was a game of chicken basically between us. Yeah.
So the egg came first.
I don't know about that. Might have just hatched the egg here.
After his full effort, egg only came out.
Yes, Loganathan. I will learn omelette skills from you.
Good job. Now go eat omelette, recover. Congratulations on the race. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. That is all for this edition of the monthly crit.
Oh, also
please stay tuned for more.
Quick shout out. We forgot to mention that one of the footage we used of some Zone Ninjas from that normal guy. He has a YouTube channel as well, and we took some of the snippets of our outdoor race from there. So yeah, if you were wondering, people. All right, so I think that calls in a wrap. Thank you everybody, and we'll see you outdoors on 4th of July.